welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay. I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari.
I'm Tyler, part-time seller on Mercari, Poshmark, eBay. What?
And today's video is going to be a tip video. So if you watched our last video, well, what did you do in our last video?
I did a hack that wasn't really a hack. It took all day to do.
Because you're a wonderful husband.
It was edited down creatively to look like it only took me 15 minutes, but it took 12 hours.
And it will also make packaging a lot easier for you. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. It's a video that I think he deserves all the views on because he spent a whole day on that.
I worked really hard on that. Not only the project, but also the video I worked very hard on. It was probably the worst video I've ever edited.
The hardest.
Yes, the most difficult to edit.
Yeah. But at the end of that video, we did mention to you that we were going to do a how to sell ugly sweaters. So if you can see our sweaters, these are some ugly sweaters. This one is actually for sale in my closet right now. This one is just his Christmas ugly sweater, so he's not selling it.
No, that's fine. You can't have it.
But,
also, it's outdated because it's Game of Thrones and that's already over.
Yeah, but we wanted to share with you guys how we do this because I have seen that it is not a popular niche.
No, people don't sell ugly sweaters.
Yes, so if you like this type of video, if you like reseller content, if you're looking for ways to grow your reseller business, then make sure that you subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you're notified every time we post new videos. We post new videos every Sunday and Wednesday. Also, leave down in the comments below if you have experience selling ugly sweaters, good or bad. If you have questions, anything like that, let us know. This is a niche that I fell into like head first.
Yeah.
Type of thing. If it was started off as kind of a joke, it was more of a, he would say, no, you're not buying that. And I would say, oh, but honey, boo, 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 ugly sells. And then it turned into, wow, no, really though, actually though, it does sell. So we have 5 things for you to look for when you are out in the store and you're looking for ugly sweaters. So I'll start there. Number 1 would be the gaudy pieces. So, I mean, we're calling them ugly sweaters for a reason. So this one is probably low on my gaudy list. It is uncomfortable, and we'll get to that, but it is low on the gaudy list. It's not super bad. However, this brand, Kitty Hawk, is the brand of this sweater. I have sold 2 other times before, so I knew that I would be able to turn it around. Yeah. So that's why I picked this one up.
Were you looking for ribbons, bows, gaudy print? If it is incredibly ugly, that's the thing. If it's so ugly that someone has to ask you, why did you buy that? That's the type of ugly we're talking about.
Yeah, so talking pieces. And also think about people that have collections. People that are collecting, well, frogs is the first one that comes to mind because we have sold a frog sweater.
Or faces, human faces.
Yeah, if people that have collections, they're going to be looking for that crazy eclectic piece that really fits into their collection. That is just so out there that someone's going to have to ask them about that. So I will pop on the screen our probably favorite ugly sweater sale.
We'll have a few of them. Yeah.
So right now I will pop on the screen a fish sweater. So do you want to give that whole little story there?
So we found it was a sweater blazer kind of deal.
Yeah, it was at the bins.
So
it was a button up.
It was a button up. We paid a few bucks for it, $1.75 or something like that.
No, I was New Hampshire bin, so it was by the pound. So it wasn't even $1.
So I said no because it was so ugly that no one would ever buy it.
And I said, I don't care. I'm putting it in the cart anyway.
It sold rather quickly, actually.
For full price.
For full price, the person was adamant about getting it in time for a party to wear it to a Christmas or the Halloween party.
Yeah. And I'm dying to know, like, what this sweater story is now. Like, what party did they need to go to that they needed a fish
We wrote that in the card. We wanted her to respond, and she didn't respond, and we're still crushed.
I'm devastated. But, I mean, that is one of the fun parts about selling these ugly sweaters is trying to figure out what are people using them for. Are they wearing them? Are they, using them as a display piece?
I mean, people go to ugly sweater parties. Yeah. I mean, not during Corona, but people have gone to ugly sweater parties.
Yeah, and there are certain types of ugly sweaters that I personally would wear. But for me, they're my most fun sales. I love seeing them go to someone. I love trying to figure out the story behind it. So, gaudy talking pieces. Definitely. That means look further into the sweater. Number 2 is organic materials. Now, this shouldn't be surprising to you. Sustainable fashion is the way fashion is moving right now. So when I say that for sweaters, I'm thinking of mohair. I'm thinking about rabbit hair. I'm talking about wool. I'm talking about organic cotton. Now, not to say that acrylic doesn't sell. I do have acrylic sweaters that have sold that are ugly sweaters, but that's going to be more towards the style side. So if you're going to get acrylic, make sure that it really fits into some kind of niche that you're looking for.
Vintage would be the thing that I think of most when I think acrylic.
Yeah, and I mean, 90s sweaters do fall into the acrylic category very often. But if you find, like this one right here is both wool and rabbit hair. So if you find that kind of stuff, that's probably going to be something that's better to purchase. Obviously, cashmere as well. If you find cashmere and it's an ugly sweater, you've got like a jackpot, obviously. Right. But yes, so organic materials. Definitely make sure you're looking at that material tag for these sweaters because that is going to be very, very important on whether or not they're going to sell. And make sure you use those words in the description. If you have rabbit hair or something like that as a material, it has to be in the description so people that are searching for rabbit hair sweaters are going to find it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on that?
Well, just they're the more superior fabric to keep you warm. I mean, wool is amazing for that. So.
Right. And there are types of wool. People will ask, is this a scratchy wool versus a not scratchy wool? Generally speaking, ugly sweaters are the scratchy wool, generally speaking.
All of them. All of the scratchy, itchiness, and nightmare.
Generally speaking. When they talk about non-scratchy wool, I generally think of merino wool, which is not super common with ugly sweaters that I found personally. But, I mean, if you find it, you find it. But I try to steer away from letting people know whether or not it's scratchy or not. I always kind of say, based on your sensitivity, because I don't know what they're looking at.
Certain sweaters, you just know that you're itchy looking at them. Yeah. So, I mean...
So, yes. So, basically, yeah, look for organic materials and be prepared for that question because you're going to get it. Right. Number 3, I put place of manufacture. So, this actually goes beyond ugly sweaters, but it's also going to help you here. So, when you're looking at ugly sweaters, look at where this was made. So, the big ones that I would think of for ugly sweaters that you're going to want are Ireland, Scotland, Iceland.
Norway.
We even have England.
Yeah.
All different places, but Ireland is a really, really big one. They have a lot of, they're called Celtic sweaters, is that what they're called?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They're the big, overly done, cable knit, gigantic.
Yeah. We've sold quite a few of those.
Sweaters.
I'll try to see if I can pop at least one up on the screen for you. But yes, those are apparently really well known. We actually got approached at a thrift store by the cashier because we had like 2, I think. And
2 or 3.
And she was like, oh, wow, Ireland, made in Ireland sweaters are really popular and really expensive. You got a great deal on these. And we were just kind of like.
It was the awkward, everything in this card is expensive. Just stop talking about it. Stop talking about it.
Yeah, so make sure you look for that. But this actually does go beyond this. If you are looking for clothing in general, this is a very good thing to look for if you're not already doing it. Because a lot of things that are made in other countries, and the ones specifically that I stated as kind of like the main ones, are usually worth more money, or at least worth looking into.
All of the designers are made in Italy or France. Yes. So
yeah, so at least worth looking into if you see a country like that. Okay, so number 4 would be vintage or not vintage. So if you notice the title of this video, I did not say vintage ugly sweaters, which is generally what people think of. But you can go either way. So vintage is going to bring more money and is going to bring more traffic. And if it is vintage, make sure that you say that because that is important. However, they don't have to be vintage. So some of the Made in Ireland sweaters that we have, I think we sold a cape, which was kind of like, maybe vintage, but I don't think I use the word vintage because that designer is still making things. So doesn't have to be vintage, but you do want to make sure that you are denoting whether it is or whether it isn't. And on Poshmark, if you don't know, there is a category for vintage under brand. So, for example, like this Kitty Hawk sweater, I'm not going to list it under Kitty Hawk. I'm going to list it under vintage because that is going to bring more traffic in and I will have Kitty Hawk in the description. So make sure that you know which way it is and list it accurately.
Yeah.
You're so helpful in this video.
I know, I'm so helpful. I've said like 6 words.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you're going to get into the numbers real soon, so.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And then finally, it's just style. So oversized or not oversized is the biggest part of the style. So this one is considered oversized. I don't know if you can even see it. I'm going to try to stand up without, kind of yeah. See, there you go. So it's a little bit oversized. You want the oversized sweaters versus the fitted sweaters. Those are going to sell for more, and they also kind of tend to be unisex. So I have sold men's sweaters that are for women because.
I mean, if it's going to fit a man medium, it's likely going to fit you as well, especially if you are looking for the oversized style.
Yes, and I've had a lot of people comment on my sweater saying, okay, you have this as a men's medium. Is it going to fit me? I am a small woman. And I'm like, okay, well, here, let me give you measurements. You tell me, because people like really oversized stuff. I mean, I wear your clothing. So
you do. You steal all of my sweatshirts.
Yeah, so exactly. So
all of them.
Look for a style. Oversized is in right now, so if you can find an ugly sweater that's oversized and gaudy, you probably got the jackpot.
Also itchy. I don't know why people like itchy sweaters. They buy all of the itchy sweaters.
Yeah, we have a few that are have hairs sticking out everywhere.
To the point where I hold it at arm's length because I don't want it to touch my skin. Itchy. And they buy all of them.
Yep.
People want that.
Pretty much all of the ones that we've had that have something like that have gone in pretty quickly.
It makes no sense. I don't even want it in the house. It's so itchy, and somebody wants to wear it. No.
But we are not knocking what people like. It is a good money maker.
I'm 100% knocking what they like. That's stupid.
Anyways, so because we are talking about this, I figured we should probably give you numbers so you don't think we're just telling you to buy something and with no backup. So we are actually going to compare the ugly sweaters versus Anthropologie, because I feel like it's a brand that most people know, and most people have a baseline of what they make on Anthropologie. So do you want to go with average sale prices and stuff?
All right. So Anthro is the benchmark. Mm-hmm. So gross on your sales, you're at about $25.84.
And he means gross what we make on a single item.
Yeah, per item. That's the average price that you get.
For an Anthro
for
item.
the listed price, not what you actually get paid.
Right. So this is the gross amount that it is sold for.
Average cost for Anthro for us is around $5 to $6, depending. And this is all Anthro brands, not just straight Anthropologie, but Moth, Maeve, Jeffrey Campbell.
Yeah. So all of it. This is just the average.
Sparrow, Sleeping on Snow.
Yep.
All of that. Average profit, after you take out the 20% fee on Poshmark and the $5 to $6 cost, is about $15, $15.67.
Right, which is not a bad profit. We sell Anthropologie quite a bit, so we're happy to keep churning that out. But we wanted to compare it to ugly sweaters because honestly, I didn't think about how many ugly sweaters I've sold until recently, and I didn't really think about how much profit I was making. I just enjoyed it so much.
Not as many as Anthropologie, to be fair, but you still have quite a decent sample size for that.
This is true. But my question was, do I actually make money doing this, or do I just enjoy it? So this is how we found that out.
So your average sale price for ugly sweaters is actually $29.
And this is on Poshmark only. We didn't go through all our other platforms.
So $29, that includes a couple higher end pieces. The cape we included because it is sweater-esque.
Well, we bought that thinking it was an ugly sweater. We actually found out it was a cape from the person, and we actually had a quite heated argument about it because I didn't really understand. So
regardless, so $29 gross before the fee, before cost. Our average cost for ugly sweaters, because no one picks them up and they're underpriced around this, is about $1 to $4.
Yeah, so we get a lot of them at the bins, and then we do get a lot of them at regular stores, but since they're not a brand that the thrift store recognizes, they do not price them up.
No. So yeah. Occasionally you spend $5, $6, but it's usually $1 to $4 typically. So our average profit is around $20.
Yeah. So that's a $5 increase from Anthropologie. Now, I will say that there is a smaller sample size for ugly sweaters, so it is a little bit skewed in that way. And the other thing to think about with ugly sweaters is it is seasonal. Now, I'm not saying that people don't buy ugly sweaters outside of the season. That is absolutely not true. They do absolutely do that. However, like we noticed, our ugly sweater sales kind of dipped off during the summer. But as soon as winter came back around, all of my ugly sweaters I listed last year started selling. It was weird. Like, I mean, the Kitty Hawk sweaters actually sold one after the other on the same day, and they'd been both listed for a year. So just leave them up. They will sell eventually. And it's worth it to me. It's
beating Anthro, which not many things can say that.
No, I think Anthropologie and Free People are our highest selling brand that we figured out at one point. So that's really important to remember.
I mean, no, I would say Brahmin, but with a large sample size, it's Anthro and Free People.
Yes, yeah. So
although you're getting to that point with Brahmins, which is skewed.
Yeah. Anyway, That is not the point of this video. But anyways, what I want to say to you guys is if you're not picking up ugly sweaters, please, please, please start looking for them and start seeing.
You're missing out if you're not buying them.
Yeah, and honestly, it is the most fun category to sell for me, for sure. I always get really excited and I always start looking at what could they be doing with this. It's just a really good time. So if you're looking for...
Well, I think your thought is that they're not going to be able to find this again. Yeah. So
it's
you have a one-of-a-kind item that is special to that person,
right?
Which you like,
right? And finally, to end it off, just pricing. I know a lot of people ask me about pricing for things that you're not going to find, and when you get to the ugly sweater category, you're not looking it up on Google search and finding the exact one. That's very rare to happen. So what I would say to you is price high and then be willing to come down, because you are likely the only one that has that item. So, like for example, with the frog sweater, I priced it at $35. I paid not even $1 for it. But I figured, let's just see what happens.
For it. But
I figured, let's see what happens. And it sold full price. So, generally speaking, for ugly sweaters, I usually range, unless I find the brand somewhere crazy and I realize it's expensive, I usually range around $30 to $35, and then I will come down. So that is why my average sale price is about $29, because I'm coming down, taking offers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that is all I have to say about that. I am really excited to hear if you guys have ugly sweater sales, if you have stories about them, the type of items. I want to know. I love all this stuff. It's very, very fun.
Also, what other categories are you buying that people don't buy and you are selling very well?
Yeah, let us know about your hidden gem categories, because I need them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, that is all I have for today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we should be back very soon with a new video.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching.